Hi there. I'm Craig, and I want to share with you what is VesselVerse, right? There's so many different NFT projects, so much going on in Web3. My goal with this video and a few others that I'll be putting out and publishing on just YouTube and my website to try to help let everyone know what's going on is to explore as I've done in the past, but moving forward with VesselVerse specifically, I was actually funded to create this content. Now, what the heck does that even mean? You're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Why did he even say funded? What's going on? So, first of all, VesselVerse.io is a website where you can learn a little bit about VesselVerse. It shows you, what the art is about, what kind of broad strokes of what's going on here, and then the vision, right? But what you don't get to know is exactly what's behind it, or what's this little logo here. So VesselVerse was born a brainchild of Victor Solomon. Victor Solomon's a very successful artist and entrepreneur that has relationships with the NBA, with BMW, with Kith, with Hennessy, all these great things. And you could see he's got some decent followership, has worked on some amazing things, and we'll get into that. But Victor, when he began his Web3 journey, at some point entered what's known as the Nouniverse, Nouns DAO. You may have seen that, the square glasses, this exact kind of logo and branding. You may have seen it 2 years ago in the Super Bowl, right? Bud Light owns a noun. Things in the space that, if you haven't heard of it, it'd be weird, but you can always ask questions of me or anyone in VesselVerse and we can dive deeper. But Victor was inspired by what was going on in Nouns, which is a daily cadence of an NFT being dropped. Anyone can bid on it, acquire it, and that actually is a vote. Every NFT, so now there's 2,185 of the vessels at the moment, every one of them is worth a vote in that ecosystem. And it could be to vote on things like what should be done with funds, which again is how I even got funded to make these videos, but other things too, of like what can be added to the project. We could vote on things within the community. And this is a small, growing community. So at the very base, VesselVerse is a growing community centered around the art and inspiration that Victor provided. Basketball being really the crux of everything. Every vessel you see looks like a clear, beautiful basketball, glass basketball with different embedments in it. And again, this is an art project that has voting, known as governance. So I began collecting them because I liked what was going on, and learning more and more about voting and governance really was a second step. So VesselVerse has a Twitter that you can follow and kind of see all the auctions. They have an Instagram where you can really see all the beautiful art, especially if you're into basketball. And then the next step is learning about where, again, you could even acquire these vessels beyond the website. So you can connect your Web3 wallet. And again, if you have any questions on that, just comment on the video or ask me directly and I'll answer that. But once you own vessels that you bought here, they'll show up in your profile, but you can also get them on secondary. So VesselVerse has pages on OpenSea for their Genesis vessel, and that was their launch product, where there's fewer of them. There's only, I believe, 450 of them. 272 people hold them. I have a couple myself. I think I have about 10. And these are worth 2 votes apiece. And again, I'll cover a little bit more about the votes in a second. But these are each worth 2 votes apiece. But you can see they're empty, right? They're the Genesis vessels. They don't have any embedments in them. And I like to look at that, and this is, again, my personal opinion on that. I like to look at it as the Genesis holders get to determine what I think becomes a part of that vessel, right? They're not a part of the art flow that you'll see in the foundation vessels, that each one has a different embedment, but they're for the people that were there first, 272 owners of these. And then we have the foundation vessels, where there are thousands of them currently. There's 2,186, I think you saw from the site, literally while I'm making this video. I think another one might have happened there. And they come out every hour. Every hour on the hour, there's an auction that somebody can get one of these for as little as 0.01 Ethereum. And you'll see them all kind of populate here. And some people are selling them. That's okay. That's just the nature of the beast. But you've got two ways to be in the VesselVerse if you're interested in connecting with the people, learning more about what even is the Nouniverse, what's going on there. And then I think the biggest thing to look at if you're looking at what is VesselVerse is the Discord. The Discord for VesselVerse is a really cool place. This is exactly what it looks like. I'm showing you the start here where you can see Victor's profile. And it's broken up into a couple of channels based on how many NFTs the person holds. The upper deck, the mezzanine, the courtside. And I'll go deeper into this in another video, but the conversations in here and the people that are connecting in here is one of the biggest moments of like aha moment for me of like what is VesselVerse. I get to talk basketball with these people, work on business ideas, and even collaborate on things for VesselVerse. Again, I mentioned earlier that I was funded to make these videos, right? So let me dive in a little bit deeper on that, even though I'll have more on it in another video, because there is a voting / governance element of holding these NFTs. There is an opportunity because the nature of the project was to fuel and empower the community. There are treasury funds. Literally, the money from these auctions go into a treasury fund. It doesn't go right to Victor. That's what's so interesting about these things in the Nouniverse, everything that's going on with DAOs, decentralized autonomous organizations, and why it's so intriguing. Because by holding these, I was able to submit a proposal and say, hey, I'm going to make these videos and try to help more people learn about what's going on. I'm going to put up a blog post. I'm going to do these things. And the other people, not just me, the other people in the community voted, and I was one of the top 3 vote getters. So I was funded to make this. I was also funded to make a podcast episode about VesselVerse, and we did that, and I'll link to that. But the power of crowdfunding, I think people most relate it to things like Kickstarter or GoFundMe. This is a Web3 ownership version of that same thing. I've done Kickstarters and GoFundMes before just to support a person, right? Sometimes with Kickstarter, I actually got the item, right? I remember a notebook that was like, you wrote on it and you could microwave it and the words would go away. Cool, Rocketbook, I think it was called. That was a Kickstarter. And it was great. I sent them, I think originally it was like 50 or 75 bucks. And then eventually when they made it, I got a notebook, right? I got a notebook that was easy, a transaction. This is a little more complicated, right? Because you're not funding a person, you're funding a communal treasury that every holder technically has a say in. Of course, it is voted, it's very democratic, but when it was voted on, it determines, okay, where these funds are going to go. And it's so interesting because anything is possible. Obviously, this begins with basketball. This begins with a connection around sports and art inspired by, again, look at these beautiful things. Like Victor has done the NBA trophies, the current whole litany of NBA trophies. That's Victor's art. The trophy that Steph held up. You know what I mean? Like, it's so cool to see that that's the start of where this began. And VesselVerse is not just Victor's kind of foray into Web3. He's done other things. He's in other projects. He's succeeded both in real life and in Web3, but it was the inspiration to take the community around art that's inspiring and inspired by basketball, and then the governance and community element of connecting people around a like-minded vision. That's the real key of this Discord. That's what VesselVerse is. And if you're interested to learn more, please drop a comment on this video, ping me from either the website, I'm classic_Craig on Twitter. I want to talk about this stuff. I want to help more people understand that it's still early. There's another 7,000-ish of these that are going to be coming out over the next many, many months. There's a lot of opportunity for ideas to get funded and for people to really make an impact. Or if you're just interested in hanging out and chatting with people that enjoy basketball, enjoy art, are looking to do things around that, VesselVerse is a great place digitally, virtually, to connect. So I hope that was at least an under 10-minute version of what is VesselVerse, and I'm excited to make a few more videos and keep things going. See you soon.